everybody, and welcome to Project Talk, your favorite Sunday afternoon, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Eastern Seaboard live stream. For those who don't know, I am Glenn from Fun King 3D, and with me as all... Oh, I'm all alone. So James will probably be here in just a little bit. He's he's having some issues today. It doesn't matter. He'll be here. I can talk. I can definitely talk. Hopefully not for 2 hours by myself, because it could be a little crazy. Brian said, "Holy crap, you're early." Absolutely. So usually when right before the stream starts, like James and I used to get in here like a half hour early, and we would have an opportunity to chit chat a little bit and whatever, and then life gets in the way, and so then it all of a sudden got to be the point where we were chit chatting right up to the moment of going live, and then that's usually when we had some kind of technical difficulty. But James had texted me just a little bit ago and said that he'd be a little bit late, and I'd probably have to start without him. And I was sitting here not doing anything, and we'll get to that in a second. So I thought, well, I'd go ahead and start early and just kind of rub it in Nadav's face. So running down the chat, Nadav is here. 103 minutes to go. It was funny when I created this stream this morning, like Nadav was already in there waiting before I created it. So I don't know, not really. Alan Osborne is here. My friend Josh, Alien 3D, is in the house. Hello, Josh. It's nice to see you. Brian is here. Ollie is here. Now, Ollie, as I understand it from your tweets, you are out riding. Are you still out and about riding? If so, awesome, and thanks for joining. Clint is here. Brian is here. I think maybe I already said Brian. I don't care. Brian, you get to be called out twice. And local maker, Michigan. Now, we just started. I can see the count going up. So I'm sure more people will start to filter in. There's Bob Carnes. Nobody expects us to start early. Everybody always expects us to start a little bit later anyway. But again, I was just sitting here and I didn't have anybody to talk to. So Ollie said he is actually out riding, but he's at the hotel right now. Well, I would hope that you weren't like actually riding while watching this. I wouldn't condone that. So a couple of things. First of all, we are quickly approaching the 50th one of these streams. These being from the point where we renamed it Project Talk. So the downside to that is I had only made thumbnails for 50 episodes, and not that they're hard to make. They're fairly easy to edit, but I want to jazz up the thumbnails a little bit because we've now had 50 episodes, or almost 50, or we will have 50 episodes, all with the same thumbnail other than the number changed. So the video thumbnail needs to change for the thumbnails. At that point, we are going to officially change the name of the stream from Project Talk with James and Glenn to Project Talk with Glenn. No, not really. It's going to be just Project Talk. That way, Glenn said, "Don't you dare quit." No, we're not quitting. It just, there's a handful of things that go along with, changing a bunch of stuff. Yeah, definitely a jazzier thumbnail. Changing the title of the stream, and then I will be guest appearance on the 50th. Well, once again, we've had open invitation for people who want to guest host. They just have to email me, and nobody ever emails me, except for that guy that wants to talk to me about the warranty on my automobile. I have a sneeze coming. I may have to mute my mic and sneeze. So along with those changes, and I haven't talked to James about any of this. I'm just going to make up my own rules, right? It's my channel. I'll do what I want. I want to start having a topic every week that we can talk about, and maybe a backup topic just in case that topic doesn't work. So at that, if you have topic ideas, you can also email me those, and that's Glenn with two N's, Glenn at funking3d.com. Um, Josh said, "Can I show up on the 50th and bring cake?" Okay, two things. One, you can show up anytime, and two, you can bring cake anytime. So there you go. That hits that. Oh, I see. I missed your other comment. Ask Mrs. Fun King when it's safe for me to come for dinner. It's been too long. Yeah, we'll definitely have to set that up. I mean, I'm home. I'm home most always. I don't go places. That whole social anxiety thing. But anyway, so I gotta make sure that I keep looking down and seeing if James pops into the green room to let him in. But yeah, just so that you guys know, I mean, this is the 47th episode. So three more will have this same thumbnail. And then maybe I'll scrap the 50th, and the 50th episode will have a new thumbnail. I was going to say a fancier thumbnail, but it probably won't be. Um, it'll just be different. It'll just be different. So, for those of you who caught my tweet today, um, you kind of have an idea what's going on. For those who didn't see my tweet today and somehow end up here anyway, um, the topic that I wanted to talk about today is project based, and that is when you have a project that is not even necessarily large, but just overwhelming. Maybe a project that is something that you've never done before, or a project that is large, and it just overwhelms you. How does one go about tackling that project and losing that anxiety, that overwhelming loom of that project? And I have a couple of those. I have a couple of those immediately. I have a lot of those, but I have a few that are immediate on me right now, and that's kind of why that's why I want to use you. I mean, ask you for your opinions. Um, uh, yeah, Josh says, I have two projects going on that are giving me anxiety: the Tesseract and the 977% open RC Batmobile. Well, I knew your Batmobile would definitely be one of those. And I was actually talking to the wife about this today on the way home from church, and I said it's kind of we're driving and they're building a 7-Eleven, and I said it's kind of like if I said to you, "Hey, I need you to build that 7-Eleven by yourself," like, but you don't have any idea how to build a 7-Eleven. And it may not even be that. Um, so the couple of things that are weighing on me right now is I want to do this community mural on this back wall, and I want to get it definitely rolling soon so that anybody that's coming to Earth, if they want to just bring the parts to Earth, if I make it, you can give them to me. If not, I will have somebody there to receive those parts. I'll most likely be there, but we'll get around to that probably in a couple of weeks. So, um, so that project, because I've never done a community project before, so I'm not really sure how to handle it, and so I got to start to put that together. Um, the other one, of course, is this space that's just to the other side of this wall from me. I need, I have to get that garage under control as far as the amount of junk that I have in there and the workspace that I have. I shared on my Instagram that I've started to frame walls in there, which has been a project that I have been kicking around for about 10 years. And it has begun, even with wood prices the way they are. They've come down a little bit. So um, I've opted to at least block off the last 40 feet, which is my work area. And I chose to do that because I need to be able to control the air in there. It is unbelievably hot. I hung a thermometer in there so that I would know the exact temperature. The thermometer hung in there for 8 hours and said, nope, nope, I'm out of here, and quit and left. Um, Obviously not, but it's been on average about 100 degrees inside the building. And for whatever reason, as my luck would have it, the wind blows this way and all my doors are this way. So I can't get any wind in there. So that's kind of what has started this whirlwind. And then there's this project. If you don't know what this is a framing nailer, air powered, DeWalt. You know, what else? What else would I own? DeWalt. But I've had this framing nailer for about 15 years, and I hadn't used it in a while. Went to fire it up, and it has given up the ghost. And the seals, and yeah, there you go. I mean, I don't even have to break it. They're just crumbling. They're just crumbling, and they're no longer available. So that's been my that's been my week. Brian says add a window. Cannot. Unfortunately, adding windows not an option. Because of Florida wind codes, to add even a single window into this building would be so cost prohibitive that it would be cheaper to add air conditioning. So, and I definitely can't afford that. I just heard my air compressor kick on, but I'm not using it, so I'm gonna have to go check and make sure something's not leaking. Oh, now I gotta get caught up with everything that people have been saying. Automated filament spooler. Lets you do it in little chunks, or the hard part first. Well, yeah, that was my wife's suggestion too. Was one step at a time. They always say, "How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time." But when when I when I decide that I'm going to go in and clean some portion of the garage, in my mind, I say, all right, I'm going to go in and do this. I'm going to pick this section and I'm going to go in and do that. And the anxiety is so bad once I get there that I end up either just completely doing something else, um, usually just leaving the garage, or I end up starting another project or working on a project that's been sidelined or whatever, and I don't end up getting anything cleaned. And the problem really comes down to I'm a firm believer in a place for everything and everything in its place. My problem is I have more things than I have places, and I can't make the places because I have too many things. If you can wrap your head around that. Um, so yeah, I'm kind of looking for your guys's opinions and suggestions on how you take on projects. And it doesn't even have to be a project of that scale. It can be even a little project, maybe something you've never done before. I've never rebuilt a framing nailer before, and I just decided to tear into it and see what it's all about. And you know what? It's really not that scary. And after looking in here, I know exactly how they work now, which is pretty cool. I can actually put this back together. Unfortunately, at this point, there's no reason to. Oh, I'm not sure what I just did. Hey, there I am. My framing nailer decided to turn the camera off. So, so like sometimes you just got to dive into a project if you don't know it. But I'm just curious how you guys take on projects that are outside your comfort zone. I hate that term almost as much as I hate pro tip. Most of the time when people say pro tip, you're not a pro, and then it's just like, oh, but so Brian said, so it's motivation. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit of motivation. So Florida wants your garage to be an oven. Well, no, if I would have built it facing east-west instead of north-south, I probably would have been okay. But Sanders said, make a frame with a tarp and direct the wind in. It's funny because I have actually considered something like that, some type of a door that I could open and just hook the wind in there. And that could still happen. I don't know. That could definitely still happen. So I went out. I have to think about what day it was. I think it was Friday afternoon. Maybe it was Thursday. Let's see. Sean was here on Friday. It was probably Thursday. I had gone out to work in the garage, and I've installed a fan in the end wall. What do they call those? Like a big ventilation fan. I installed it up high to suck the heat off the ceiling, and so I kicked that thing on, and I went over and I opened the garage door, and I only opened the garage door about 4 feet. And I do that for 2 reasons. One, because my fan is 4 foot tall, my big fan. And 2, because then the neighbors don't see me and want to stop and chit chat and honk and wave. So, but I opened it up and I turned that fan on, and all it did was blow hot air on me. So, but I've been working this week to get that wall built. As sad as I am to say, it took way longer to build that wall than it should have, but I'm older now, and I framed my whole house, for those who don't know, but that was like 15 years ago, and I'm older now and slower, and it's hot. It's just hot. And I didn't have a framing nailer. I did it all with a hammer and nails. Whew. I like the way you censored that, Brian. He said that I should get a big donkey fan. It's a company that makes these huge fans. So, and there's a reason I don't have one. And it's not just money. It's because, well, 2 reasons. One, you would have to figure out how to hang your lights below it. Otherwise, you get strobing, which for filming is awful. The other problem, that's why I don't have any ceiling fans. The other problem is the bay where the lift is, where I work, the bay that I work in, is scheduled to have a bridge crane put into it at some point, and therefore nothing can stick down out of the ceiling because I need every bit of height I can get. So that kind of kills that. Well, that's nice of you to say, Alan. He said it takes longer to do a good job. I always try to do a good job on everything I do, mainly when it's my own stuff. But no, I could only work for a couple hours a night, and then I was just completely wrecked. In fact, my back, that's why I'm sitting kind of weird today, is my back is out. So that's fun too. Brian said that there's also attic. Sorry, I'm not making fun of you, Brian. That's not how you spell attic. It's just way funnier the way you spelled it. Because I don't want them kind of fence. So pretty much what I put in is it's a oh, there's Mr. James. It is a 3 foot. There's Mr. James's keyboard anyway.
I can move that.
Oh, there you are. So I put in a 3 foot ventilation fan on the end wall, but I sized that fan based on a 40 by 40 work area, which is what I'm trying to accomplish now by putting the wall in. So, Josh says, having been in your garage, could you run ducts up the walls on the ends where the roof peaks with fans on the floor sucking the duct and blowing outside? I didn't really ever think about ducting the air off the floor. I have considered putting being that I have one exhaust ventilation fan on one side, putting like an incoming fan, the reverse direction, to force air in off of the end wall too. So I'm not really sure if that'll work, but so James, I don't know, did you catch any of the stream or were you just busy?
I had not caught any of the stream.
So I decided today's topic was how to, I guess technically how to approach a project that's very overwhelming for whatever reason, whether it's large scale or something that you've never done before.
I cry.
I don't know if I've ever gotten to that point. Usually I just then don't do the project.
I cry before even starting. That's I don't go until I'm overwhelmed and then cry. I just look at it and go, nope, and then just start to openly sob.
And then I was sharing with everybody that I was attempting to rebuild my framing nailer that I've had for a long time. It's built a couple of houses. Like it's done its job, but the seals inside of it. This is the O-ring. I don't know if you can see this. I know I have a closer camera around here somewhere. This thing's like snot. This is the O-ring for the piston. What, focus? And it's just like
brittle.
Oh, it's gummy. It's so.
It's like old elastic.
Yeah, like a really old rubber band.
Yep.
Yeah. It's pretty gross. So, and then I bought a seal kit off of the Amazons.
Is it made by Steel Team 6?
And it came with seals for 3 different guns, but not enough for any one gun. And then it didn't come with that seal, and then the main seal at the top was completely blitzed, and you can't get them anymore. So I ordered the cheapest gun on Amazon, which was only like $79. Which I had this kit right here was $20, and then I had another almost $50 in parts in my cart to try to refurbish this one. And so I'm going to return the seal kit because it doesn't do me any good. And it was the same price for a whole different gun. And I used it yesterday. I don't even know what day it is. I used it yesterday, the cheap gun, and it works fantastic. So
now it's a matter of how long does it last. That'll be the other deciding factor as to whether or not it was the right way to go.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it fails within 30 days, I'm good.
Yeah. You can just send it back to the Amazon.
Yeah, I think it's got a 1-year manufacturer warranty, but I checked with the Home Depot and
the Home Depot.
And they rent guns, but it's $65 for 2 days.
Or you just buy one for $70 and then.
If it lasts more than 2 days, I'm ahead.
Well, there's no way to not end up ahead as long as you're using it those 2 days. Because
right,
if it dies, you can send it back. They'll send you another one. You finish your project and then you return it because you know it was garbage.
Yeah. Amazon rentals. Yep.
I know that you did, but do you work on any projects this week?
God, if you'd have been here for the last 21 minutes, I actually started like 3 minutes early today too.
Now it's going to look like it's all me because that's the second time you've done that where I wasn't here for a stream and you started slightly early.
Well, I did it for 2 reasons. One, because I didn't have anything to do. I didn't have anybody to talk to. I was bored. I came out here to talk to you, and you weren't here. And then also just to get an adopt because he wanted a refund if we started late. So no, I was telling everybody. Sorry. I was telling everybody that I was doing some framing in the garage, which has actually been on the books for about 10 years. I started planning on the division of the garage 10 years ago. and it was always something that put it off. There was, I don't know, the kids wanted to eat, or you know, so yeah, there was always something. There was always something that just kind of put it off, and so even with wood prices where they are, in fact, I made the decision to put the wall up that I did this week. I made the decision to put that up about a month ago, and it was going to be $1,000 for that wall. And by waiting just a couple of weeks, it dropped under $500.
Oh, that's nice.
So
So your procrastination paid off literally this time.
for once, yeah.
Sanders 3D says, "How about printing a seal for the gun?"
It did cross my mind. I was thinking that I could use some of that rubbery filament that people use. I
Like
don't know.
TPU or like
I
the
I don't
what's
know what it's called
Ninja
because
Flex?
I don't ever use that stuff.
Hmm.
I've never printed TPU, but
I
I'm
printed flexible PLA the other day.
the other day.
I had
The,
never seen it before, but it's not TPU, it's actual PLA, and it's just gummy.
Interesting. Well, my fear, and unfortunately, I don't think I can show you guys this profile very well. Um, I'll pop back over to this. You see that profile? There's a pretty good view of it.
Oh yeah, the supports are going to be an issue.
Well, it's got a little bit of a hook to it, and then the other big issue is the pressure that this gun. I mean, it's 150 psi running into that thing, and
What
and if
happens if that seal lets go while it's holding pressure?
well, nothing more than it makes a lot of noise.
Scares
Because
the
that's
poop out
pretty
of you.
much what happened as soon as I plugged it in the other day. As soon as I hooked it up, I heard it like poof inside of there, and then it just like it's
It's
like if you took your air hose and just cut it with a pair of loppers. That's what it sounded like.
You stuck a knife
So
into the side of a tire.
yeah, if you guys don't know the way that a nail gun works, it's actually pretty cool. And I didn't know until I got in here. But what happens, there's this big chamber. You got this lid that goes on top of here. There's a reason it's so big like this. But when you pull the trigger, what it does is it lets a large amount of air into this chamber, and it jams this piston down into this cylinder. And the end of this is what drives the nail. So when you pull that trigger, it's boom like this, all that air pressure. And then when you let it off, the air actually is allowed to go to the other side, and it brings the piston back up.
That's why you get the two
Yeah,
sounds.
exactly.
It's
Yeah.
a double action.
Yeah, and if you shoot and hold the trigger, it's just until you let off, and then it goes, and that's the piston coming back up against this little guy right here, which is also pretty monkeyed up. So, but it's really cool to be in here and see, oh, that's how it works.
What if you just 3D printed a whole new air gun? That should be safe, right?
Oh yeah, that'd be fine. I don't see,
Nail number 3 and it kills you.
I could see.
Disclaimer for anybody that's watching. That was satire. Don't actually do that. It will kill you until you die from it.
And it'll hurt the entire time you're dying. Yeah, because it would just explode. It's a lot of pressure, and you think about it, it's pressure in, pressure back out. So it's this constant hammering inside of there. But again, just in the parts where I thought I was going to be able to fix it was cost-wise pretty much what it just cost me to buy a whole new gun. And this gun doesn't owe me anything. Absolutely nothing. I have used this thing so much. I have run so many nails through this. Tens of thousands.
And good on you for not making jokes.
As far as what?
Jokes related to nailing.
Oh.
Family-friendly channel.
Family-friendly channel. Yeah, I mean, you buy a box of nails, like a small box is 1,000 nails. I ran over 500 just Saturday through the new gun already. So, yeah. So that doesn't really owe me anything. It makes me sad because, you know, Scun and I have been through a lot. I mean, it drove most of the nails in my house. But so be it. That's fine. I'm not totally sad that it's gone. And I don't really I don't do much framing anymore, so because DeWalt does make a 20-volt cordless option, and it's pretty nice.
It's just not cheap. It's just not $80 cheap.
It's no, it's like $400 not cheap. And so I said, nope. And then I just searched on Amazon and found the cheapest one, and it had good reviews. So
now you need to do what all the YouTubers are doing. So Sanders 3D said now it's a wall hanging artifact. There's been all these videos popping up lately where people disassemble an item that's broken and they frame it and they print a banner for behind it that points out what all the pieces are.
Almost like a blueprint.
Yeah, and then they get hundreds of thousands of views on them, and that would be great to drive traffic to your channel.
Huh, interesting.
And I mean, it's not the exact. Obviously, it's not the exact thing as automotive, but mechanical people generally like all layers of mechanicals.
That'd be pretty neat. Yeah, if I could get away with that, I got a lot of broken stuff.
It would make a good. So there is going to be. It's going to be. You would have to be a short. I think you want it to get that rolling audience where it can go through that stuff, but. Yeah, you hammer something out and then you do a graphic for behind it. Bingo, bango, bongo. Maybe 5 or 6 views. You know.
5 or 6 views. My last short was like 2,500 views.
There you go. My last short got 73 views, and then I also uploaded it to TikTok where it didn't get any views. And then I was like trying to go through and figure out. Maybe I talked about this already. It was when I retrobrighted that keyboard. Which let me grab that keyboard because it turned out, in case anybody didn't see the short.
Well, obviously people didn't see this.
Yeah, exactly. Look at how brand new that looks.
That is pretty awesome.
The camera is adding a little more of it because, like, if I hold it up here, this is more accurate. The camera is adding a little warmth to the image. It's much closer to what's on the webcam. Anyways, so this was hooked up to my 486, and at the end, I went, now I'm ready to play some old school Wolfenstein 3D, which is full of swastikas on the walls and stuff. And I'm thinking that that it probably detected that was in fact the case, that there was some stuff in there that might be considered hate imagery, and it got censored out.
Huh.
Because generally speaking, like shorts usually get a decent amount of views.
I remember you saying something about that.
But
I have 2 nail guns at work, and they've been shooting about, I would say that's 1.5 million nails and still counting. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. So a hammer, and I have nice framing hammers, you know, like it's not like a little hobby hammer. It's a legit framing hammer. But it's amazing how much longer that takes. and the wear and tear on my body. My right shoulder is blitzed anyway, and then you know, and I can nail left or right-handed. I'm ambidextrous in a lot of things that I do. But my right is my dominant side. So it was very painful to nail all those nails. And then building the headers. And I'll share pictures, and so I don't have any pictures with me. At least I don't think. I'll have to look. But I'll share pictures of what I've done. And you guys will see it in upcoming videos and stuff. But the headers, you got to put so many nails in a header to meet building code. And so I nailed in what I had to hold it together, and thought, nah, I'll get it with the nail gun when the nail gun gets here. Oh, I'm lazy.
Sanders 3 says C64 was fun. Plus press play on tape. I'm not sure if you're saying that because I said old school 46, or you've seen in fact that there is a Commodore 64 right here. But there is a Commodore 64 right there, and I have the tape drive for it. I've never loaded anything off of the tape drive, but I have one.
God, I can remember it sucked when the game you wanted to play was towards the end of the tape.
Just keep going. I did work on a new video this week. It is taking me longer to film than I expected. I ended up having to reshoot a bunch of them. there's an effect when you film an LCD called I think we've discussed this before too, and I always get the name wrong. It's like the Moyer effect. Have you ever seen that?
Describe
It's
it
like
to me.
it's like this weird like often like circular outline thing that goes like through it, where it's basically like the pixels of the LCD you're filming don't match up with the pixels on the CMOS sensor in your camera, and it
Okay.
creates this like curving warping effect, and the video looks terrible. Well, I'm filming on this camera right here. This is my 4K camera, but the screen on it's 2.5 inches. So I adjust until it looks like the effect is gone, and then I film, and then I bring the video up, and it's not gone. It was just enough out of the way that you couldn't tell it was there on the screen.
Yeah.
So then what I end up doing, and what I will continue to do now, is I set up the camera with the HDMI output that I've got going right now connected to my 27-inch screen here, so that I see exactly what it's filming blown up. But the problem with that is if I push the record button on the camera, oh, there's no memory card in it. My big dramatic reveal. The HDMI port gets disabled when it's recording.
Oh.
So I can set up the shot, but I have to make sure absolutely certain to not make sure that I'm absolutely certain not to move anything once the shot's
change anything.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But I did a video on this guy a little while ago. Some people will recognize. You probably do, right?
Aspire.
No, this is the triple E PC by Asus.
Oh.
Yeah, the Spire was my second one, the Acer Spire 1, which is this guy right here, which is so freaking reflective. Like you can see, like it's almost mirror, right? It's that what do they call that? It's that piano mirror finish.
Yeah.
Right down to the screen, like you can see, and it's not even just like a black and white reflection. You can actually see the color of my hand and stuff. That's how reflective it is.
Yeah.
So filming it has been a particularly, fun time.
Yeah, everybody gets behind the scene shots that way.
That's the thing. I've never put my face in any of my retro videos intentionally. I'm probably popped up in reflections, because that was the way to avoid that whole fiasco or debacle about people saying, "Oh, your voice doesn't match your face, your voice doesn't match your body." And then the one day I put up the video and somebody was like, "Your hands look awful old for somebody with a voice that young sounding," and I was like, "What?"
People are just schmucks.
I actually I spent probably 15 minutes looking up the person's YouTube account to see if it maybe was if it was just a freshly created YouTube account. It was somebody who knew me messing with me because they knew it was not a trigger, because I'm not overly upset, but I just don't want to deal with it, so I don't.
Yeah.
But I think I'll probably start putting myself into videos because got to be your own brand.
Yeah, I don't put myself in my videos.
That's the lie detector determined that was a lie.
I see what you did there. Nobody else gets that, but
I get that reference. You get that reference?
I mean, people get that reference, but not necessarily why it was hot on our lips. But no, it was a good week for projects overall. I haven't started. I didn't start editing this week's video until today, because the realization set in yesterday. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta have a video out this week. So I've been so engrossed in my project. So the framing project started Monday, 4th of July. I had, I don't know, I didn't, it's not that I didn't have anything going on. I wasn't in the middle of something. And I just decided I was going to go to the local box store and buy some lumber. And so I went and I bought it and I loaded it up and I came home and I started framing. Well, Zach actually came out and helped me. I had to get him a smaller hammer. Like, he couldn't swing the big framing hammer, but he was actually out there like nailing nails and stuff. And he was out there long enough that he was dripping sweaty and stuff. So it was kind of a nice father and son thing. Not the other kid though, but
no, he's too busy playing the video games.
Playing the video games. So Nadab said my backyard swing set rusted away today. Just today? Like,
that usually takes years.
Yeah. No, I don't. Any tips for a new one? Get a wood one. really, I haven't looked at metal swing sets in a long time. But wood's gonna rot too. Honestly, the metal ones probably last longer. It's going to come down to one, how much do you want to spend? Two, do you want to just build it yourself? Like do your own design and build, and what features you want on there. I ended up picking up Zach back a couple years ago. I bought him a used one from some friends that were moving to Alaska, and I mean, it wasn't cheap. I still paid like $500 for it, but it would have cost me probably $2,000 to build it. So
the other thing is too, if you're getting a metal one, you can do a rust-proof paint on it and then just keep up with it.
Yeah, well, they're typically powder coated.
Yeah, so it's like our pool is started to rust, but the metal it's 7 years old, so it's just there's a powder coating on the frame, but eventually stuff gets chipped or worn against, and
yeah, absolutely. Well, you weed eat around it or whatever, and you beat the coating off of it. And
yeah, so I think this year we're gonna gamble that we'll get another year or two out of it. The liner's starting to show a little wear, and it's not in danger of tearing or anything, but I think at the end of this season, I will go through, sand off any rust spots, and then give them a quick spray with some Rust-Oleum or whatever, and then we'll know it's secure. It's holding back that much water. I probably don't want to risk finding out that it's rusted in a structurally important area.
Tony Ryan said, "Geez, how rude! Your hands look absolutely youthful for a 40-something young man."
I did see that, and I did laugh because I'm not in my 40s.
I think that was kind of the joke.
Yep.
I'm not in my 40s either. Well, I guess I still am, but not for very much longer. Whew.
Turn this a little bit more.
I don't know. Sometimes, and maybe I've mentioned this before, but like once in a while I get imposter syndrome. I think everybody does at some point. But
not me. I know I'm an imposter.
Like there's been a couple times when I've said to the wife, like, am I really crazy for trying to start an automotive-based YouTube channel at almost 50 years old? Like,
yes.
Well, I mean, yeah, mainly in this heat, but the thing is I've got, I won't say I have 50 years of experience because I didn't really start turning wrench until the 80s, like it was a little bit before high school when I started to truly become mechanical, because my father did not have a mechanical bone in his body. Like he didn't know a wrench from a ratchet, but I don't know, like if you're young and not nearly as experienced, what do you share? Like,
I think that in a lot of niches, there's always room for some additional content if it's well put together, and that you don't need to compete so much with other channels because, like, granted, people have a limited time for viewability, but the majority of people have time where they're still looking for content, right?
Oh, well, that's a good point that you bring up, because that's really all I watch on YouTube anymore, and there isn't enough.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not fair either. There's enough. There isn't enough that I'm willing to watch, because there's some channels out there, and it's in any topic, any community,
yeah,
that I just can't handle the people. And I'm not going to call them out, but there is one automotive-based YouTube channel that's actually fairly popular.
Fun King Garage, yeah.
Yeah. Can't stand the guy. No, I don't know if I can say that. Like, I don't want to give it away. I don't want to call them. They're wonderful people. They really are. But it's like, she does the filming and she concentrates the camera more on herself than what's going on. And it's just super annoying, because I'm not there to watch the woman. I'm there to watch the automotive stuff of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's an automotive channel. Don't cash in because you're female. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
Wrong?
No.
I mean, yeah. So I don't know. But I mean, there's other channels that I watch, and the people, and maybe it's okay. Like if you don't really know about a topic, like 24/7 Hinky said, but we watch you. Yes, and I always focus the camera on this right here. But like the people don't necessarily know what they're doing. And I don't remember the name of the channel, so I couldn't call them out anyway. But I watched a channel the other day, a YouTube video of this guy. He does primarily woodworking. That might have given it away. I think he's one of those Canadians. No, I don't know where he was from, but he was installing a mini split air conditioning system. And I've been looking at mini splits for the garage, so I've just been kind of trying to get opinions on different brands. And needless to say, this guy had no business installing his own air conditioning. Like he comes down to doing the wiring, and he's like, oh yeah, there's 3 different color wires in this bundle, or 4 different color wires, I don't remember. And he's like, it doesn't really matter which color you use as long as they're the same on the other side. And then he gets out to the other side, and the green one's got a ring terminal on it, and he goes, oh, I guess I should have used the green one for the ground, but it's okay. And it's like, no, there's a reason there's electrical codes. Like
somebody's gonna come to this after you're done and go, oh, I'm just gonna disconnect the ground and then electrocute themselves because
and die, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because that won't be him.
Yeah, it's just that's the kind of stuff that absolutely. And then of course I always immediately look how many subscribers does he have? How many views has this video gotten? And it's like, oh, it just blows my mind. And I'm not saying that I know everything, and I'm not saying that I do everything right, and I'm not saying that I don't accidentally film myself falling down, and sometimes it'll make it into a video. I'm not saying that, There's this one automotive YouTuber. The guy, he just doesn't know anything, and he's got so many subscribers. Like he doesn't know what a carburetor is called. He calls it a fuel make it happener.
Oh, is that the guy that also talks with the lightning whirler?
I can't wait to get to meet him in real life.
Yeah, he's gonna love you.
But anyway, like I don't know. I don't even know how I got on that rant.
You're always on a rant somewhere.
Yeah, we were talking about always needing, there's always room for more content creators, which is a really good point to anybody that's like struggling to be a content creator, or, and that's what I said to my wife with the 3D channel. I'm like, I don't know what to do anymore. There's so many people making 3D printing videos. Electro Boom is Canadian, right?
Yes.
Is that the guy that always hurts himself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't watch his stuff either. I don't know why. I just can't. But it just like I said to her, I said, I'm out of ideas. Like everything's been done, and I know that's not true. And she said, but everybody makes content differently, and everybody learns from people differently, and everybody. So like I kind of, with the garage channel, like I don't really care if what I'm doing has already been done. I'm just going to do it. And if people watch it, which they seem to be watching it, great. And if they don't, that's great too. I just hit 250 subscribers, like, I don't even know if it was 2 weeks ago, and I'm now at 261.
You're growing good.
I mean, it's picking up. It's pretty crazy. And that's without being carried by Joel.
that's for them. That, and like as comparison, because I've been at the other channel for longer. My retro channel's I think closing on or past 750 now. I don't remember. I'm just such a big star now that
yeah, well, when you get to be a certain level of YouTube star, you You quit
We're at
caring.
748. We are closing on 750. My goal is 1,000 by the end of the year. My metrics don't support that in any way, shape, or form. I need 40 some a month to do that, and like right now, I think I'm at 32 for this month, but the previous month was like 20.
Huh.
So, but like, it just takes one video, you know.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe an Acer Aspire 1 video.
it absolutely is. It's not linear.
Yeah.
It's
It's bursts.
well, and like the more you have, the more you get, because the more coverage you get, the more exposure that you get.
Yep.
So plus, like, so how long has the retrospective channel been going?
So technically, well, let me pull. Technically, it's been up for a couple of years at this point, but I only had one video on it for the longest time.
Yeah, but I did the same thing. I had one video on the garage channel for 9 months before the rest of them came.
I had one video on the retro channel for almost 3 years.
Yeah.
So I started in earnest on it 10 months ago. But also the first video I released was the triple EPC, and it's at 13,000 views. So that one has been driving almost 50% of my views. So I do find it interesting though, between my retro channel and my regular channel, despite the fact that my regular channel has almost 10 times the subscribers, they end up with similar view counts a lot of the time.
Yeah. It'll either happen or it won't happen. It's, the way I'm seeing it. The way I'm looking at it. I'm just going to keep on keeping on. And as much as I want it to be a full-time job for me, I mean, who doesn't dream of just doing their hobby for a living?
Well, as you and I've discussed, I've adapted my plan. I'm a long way off from ever being able to support my to replace my current day-to-day job.
Yeah, you don't know that though.
I mean, at current speeds and whatnot, but like you're saying, it's not linear.
Right.
But the new goal is potentially that, maybe it'll do well enough that Mrs. Print and Play can take over as the social media manager and do that. Who knows?
Right. Oh, I have to keep shifting around. I hurt my back, so. And these chairs are not the most comfortable chairs. I almost considered coming out here and flipping the camera around the other way and sitting on the couch today, but I'd also have to have a monitor so I could read chat. Oh. So, but I don't know. I mean, that's the whole YouTube channel thing is another big project that can definitely be overwhelming as well. How you like that transition? Bringing us back round. But no, and it's really funny because I get asked a lot. Do you go out in public like that? But I also get asked a lot. Like, oh, what did you work on, or what project are you working on, or whatever. And that's not really a question I can answer because I'm never working on one project.
Yep.
And I watch these people that, I mean, even people in our community who kind of specialize in something, and they just do that thing, whatever that thing is. We'll pick on Chuck. Chuck is found a niche with the Ender printers, and he just keeps making it better and better and better, and producing all of this content off of that one thing. And I can't do that, first of all. Like, I would lose interest in it so fast. So I have to kind of jump around, and then I don't ever finish a project. Okay, it's not that I don't ever finish them, but a lot of times projects don't get finished, or at least not in a timely fashion, because I am working on so many things at one time.
That's fair. Yeah.
Today would have been a great day to run down to the box store and buy the drywall for my wall that I just framed. I'm done framing it. It's built. The one wall is. I should preface that story as well. so that everybody understands I can't just go in and build all the walls in the garage. Two reasons. One, my kids like to eat. Wife likes to have gas in the car. But so, I mean, lumber is expensive right now, but also there isn't enough room. There's not enough space in the garage to just get all the walls built. I would have to figure out where to put all that stuff first. So I'm kind of taking it in sections, but I want to get that wall built, and I'm going to drywall. It's only 8 foot tall. It's a regular height wall because it's getting floor trusses put on it and a second story put in for storage. It won't be full. It'll be like I think 5 feet high at the outside and like 6'4" in the middle. So it's not like you can't walk around up there. You're not going to put a pool table up there or anything. It's just for storage. But I'm going to drywall that wall to the 8 foot mark, and then I'm going to actually hang visqueen up to the rafters so that it's sealed off from the rest of the building. But it'll look nice from the filming level. It'll be like a soundstage wall. But today would have been a great day to go get the drywall and do that. But I have other obligations. I had to start editing today if I'm going to have a video out on Friday. And I promised myself that if I said I would have a video out every 2 weeks instead of weekly, that I would stick to that and not miss. That there's no reason to miss having 2 weeks to do a video. So you guys are going to be so excited. I'm putting the body down onto the truck for the first time since the Cummins engine went into it.
In this video.
In this video, yeah.
I've been having a heck of a time with this thing. It's won't install the Intel graphics drivers properly. It gets to the end and then just goes, the system can't find the specified file and crashes out. And it's like, okay, go check these logs. And then I go and there's no logs there.
Huh. Well, I gotta be honest with you, those things weren't good when they were brand new.
So this isn't the one that I had when it was brand new, but this is identical to the one that I had when it was brand new. Mine I used for a couple of years and the motherboard died. And I bought this one on eBay for like $40, so pretty cheap. But it had a dead battery. And I was like, okay, well, that's no problem. I'll replace the battery. So I bought the big battery for it. You can see it sticks out the back there.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out it's not the battery that was the issue. It's the charging circuitry.
Your laptop's got a big butt.
Yep, it does. And it cannot lie. Oh, wait, no, that's not how that goes. It turns out it's the charging circuitry that is dead, not the battery itself. So the battery showed up with a 50% charge and it would run off battery, but never charged it. And by the time I went to start filming the video, the battery was just dead again. And
wow.
So it's got this brand new battery that's literally never been charged once in it.
Yeah, I was we were an Acer authorized repair center for years, and I watched their stuff come through. Like I wasn't a technician at that point; I was a manager, but we watched the amount of Acer stuff come through, and
it was more than one.
They bought me a boat. Not really, but. Ollie said, "I'm the same. I'm all over the place doing lots of different projects." Well, I truly believe that ADD runs rampant in the maker community. I think that's why the majority of us are the way that we are, and why we are makers is because we all have attention deficit disorder, and I absolutely do. I never knew that's what it was until Zach was diagnosed with it, and then I watched Zach, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I know why I do that. But I get bored of stuff so quickly. And I'm a 0 to 100 kind of person. And maybe it's even like a 0 to 120 kind of person where if I take on a new hobby, I don't go out and buy necessarily like a beginner level of something. I always buy like a good one. Why waste your money if you're going to buy a good one later? So I just buy the good one, and I get so into the hobby until I know everything. Okay, no, that's not true.
But know a lot.
Like you all of a sudden you hit a point where you're not necessarily advancing at the same level anymore. And I kind of have that. I have that problem with jobs too, like employment. I typically only make it in a job about 2 years before I'm burned out, because there's not enough change of atmosphere, not even necessarily advancement, but just change of scenery.
Yep.
This job that I have now, I think I'm creeping up on 7 years, which is probably the longest job I've ever held. So, how about ADHD and ADD combined? Well, it's kind of the same thing, just one's hyper, one's not. But so Zach kind of teeters between the two of them. Like he'll get hyper at times, but most of the time he's fairly calm. But when I clean up my desk, it's more cluttered than when I started. See, now when I clean my desk, which doesn't happen very often. God, if you guys could see that desk now, that used to be my filming area and was always immaculately clean. When I start filling my desk, like it just becomes a mess somewhere else because I'm not getting rid of that stuff. So then where do you put it? But no, it's I don't know. Like I have to come up with a way for me to mentally be able to take on projects that are overwhelming. I mean, I have anxiety, mostly social anxiety, but I get anxiety attacks just randomly. Sometimes I don't even know why. Like all of a sudden, I'll just I'll feel all of this anxiety for no reason. Those are my good days. But really, I mean, like the garage project's a big one, and this wall mural that I want to do. The reason that I haven't progressed is because I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to even begin figuring it out on how to make it where it can be a community project. I'm so terrified that I'm going to lay out the files and distribute the files, and people are going to print them and they're not going to fit together. Because I don't want to just do squares. I don't want to just do blocks. I want them to be like puzzle pieces where they clip together, just to give it a little more character. But I'm going to feel terrible if people spend time making them and they don't work. So I might have to rely on some people just to be guinea pigs.
I mean, you have at least 2 printers that are like fully capable of working. So I'd say if you printed a couple on the ANET and a couple on the Prusa, and
there's a problem with that though. I can already throw a wrench into that thought. I have both of these dialed in to 0.1 millimeter tolerance. Most people don't take the time to do that.
That's fair.
So, and I did that because of the FK1, because of building the FK1, I wanted the parts to be as precise as possible. So I took a lot of time getting everything tuned to be as precise as possible. And most printers aren't that tight of tolerance.
I think if you then aim for 0.3 or 0.4 millimeter tolerances, like that should be enough that 3D Gloop can still put them together.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to go. And honestly, like, and I understand not wanting to go with squares. Squares is obviously the easiest, or like any repeatable pattern like that.
Yeah, but it's not jazzy enough.
Yep.
I mean, I considered doing like hexagons, because I think it would kind of look honeycombish when I was done, which would be neat. I mean, honeycomb's big. Yeah. It's not small. No.
You must be some sort of serial killer.
But I just when I thought about the puzzle pieces, I thought that would look really neat. And as far as like laying out the files, like doing the CAD work portion of it, that won't be hard. So I don't know. Alan said, print a template and send them to the group. A template as far as the puzzle piece, or like a test. That might actually be a pretty good idea. Like send a file of the tab and slot. Of course, if you print your own, chances are it's going to fit.
Right, but if you're saying that your tolerances are pretty much as good as it gets, then you send it out to the community and get everybody to test, and then you get feedback as to whether or not their pieces fit together. Because if they're dialed into 0.2 or 0.3 and the pieces don't fit, then you're gonna, okay, well, for the broader reaching group, that's not a high enough tolerance.
Yeah, I guess, because if thinking about a puzzle piece, you have the tab and the slot.
Yeah.
You got the boy piece and the girl piece. If their printer was over extruding, it would over extrude on both pieces, so it wouldn't fit.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, well, like if you're printing both the tab and the slot,
it's actually, if you have issues, it's going to double up on them.
Right.
So I think that's the way to go.
Ollie said, "I've got to go to sleep now. It's a long day tomorrow." Well, thank you for being here, Ollie. Mainly
thanks for hanging out.
You are out and touring, so it's greatly appreciated that you're here. I love seeing all the photos that you're putting on Twitter, so please keep that up. And be safe. That's the most important part. Definitely be safe out there. Mainly when you're on two wheels. There's a lot of idiots out there. I was driving. So one of the plazas that we have, it's not on the main road, like the main road, and then there's some restaurants, and then there's a secondary road, and then the plaza. So the plaza is actually on this secondary road that runs parallel to the main road, a service road, I guess. And I was driving down said road yesterday at between 25 and 30 miles per hour, which is, I have no idea in kilometers. And this lady comes up one of the streets, like she had come off the main road and was heading into the plaza. She pulls up and stops at the stop sign, like just for a split second, and then drives, never ever looked to the sides, with straight face like this, up to the stop sign and took off. And I was only like maybe 30 feet away in my truck doing like 30. So I was on the brakes and the horn at the same time. That I'm sure that lady had to go buy new underwear. Like, I would have T-boned her. I'd have killed her. She'd have been dead. Whew.
I also thought of a project. What you said reminded me of it, but I don't want to share it publicly. But I might give it to you because I think it would be up your alley. Actually, I'm gonna mess. I came up with a project idea a week or two ago that your story just reminded me of, and I was thinking I might pass it to you because I think it would be better into your niches than mine. So give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna send you a message on the Twitters.
Okay. Now everybody at home's like, "Oh, we want to know what it is." But no, I do want to get that. I do want to get that project going. So, I mean, the feedback is fantastic, and I appreciate it. I will definitely try to come up with some type of a test file that I can release, and I'll make it, so it's not super wasteful of filament. I just think it'd be really cool to have pieces up here from everybody.
I sent it to you.
It just came through. Isn't technology grand?
It costs more than $1,000.
Yeah, it does. That's a terrible idea. Oh, wait, no, that's not your message.
I think you're going to love it, actually.
So I got Zach in the car last night. We're heading out on some errands. I had to take some stuff back to the Home Depot and buy some different stuff from the Lowe's. And I was telling him that I had, like earlier that day, I had stopped and gotten a turtle, a gopher turtle, out of the road so it didn't get squished. But as I'm telling him the story, I said, yeah, there's a lady driving in front of me, and all of a sudden she comes almost to a full, complete stop, like in the middle of the road. And so, and I said, so I said, this lady comes to a stop, and I'm like, what are you doing, lady? And he's like, I bet that's what you said.
Oh, I thought of a dad joke for you to deliver to Zach today.
Okay.
Thought of it myself, although I'm probably not the first person to say it. Why do farmers never spend nights in jail?
I
Because
don't
they
know.
always make bail.
Wouldn't that be making bales?
No, just singular.
Oh,
You can guess. Yeah. Why did the wheat farmer never spend nights in jail?
there
'Cause
you
he
go. That
always
makes
made
it a little
bail.
more specific.
Yeah, because somebody will be like, "Oh, what if he's a cattle farmer?" And I'll be like, "Shut up! You ruined the joke." Thanks a lot. I don't know.
Tony Ryan said, new project for me, 3D printed air horns for your truck. You know, it's really funny because when I bought that truck, way back in 06, yeah, 06,
2006.
like I had said to the wife, I want this truck. I'm going to buy it with the cheapest radio that they have, like because you couldn't factory delete the radio. So I said I'm just going to take the most basic radio because I'm going to buy this radio and put in it. I want the fifth wheel hitch, this particular fifth wheel hitch, because we were buying an RV, and I said I want train horns, and I got every bit of it but the train horns. She would not budge. She would not let me spend the $500 on train horns, and I have always wanted a set of those on that truck.
So
Not
what happens? Because you know, one of the things that made not made 3D printing popular. One of the things that was popular for like a year in 3D printing was that conductor's whistle that you could 3D print, right? The foo foo,
right,
and it
right.
plays the two notes. And what if you printed like 20 of those, and you printed a holder that had an air connection at the bottom, so you could have a trigger holding, and it sets off like 20 of them simultaneously.
Yeah, I don't know if that would still be as loud. I mean, have you
No.
ever been around a train horn?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
it physically hurts.
Yep.
Yeah.
It wants to knock you over.
Yeah, in fact, like, horn blasters, I don't know if you guys are familiar with horn blasters, but they're hornblasters.com. They're actually local to me, and by local, I mean, like, really local.
Like he
But
runs the business out of his garage.
he lives next door. No, but they won't mount them. If they mount them in the front, they have to point forward. If they mount them in the rear, they have to point rearward, so that they don't
Rupture your
incapacitate the
eardrums.
driver. I want train horns, and they have to play the brown note.
Ruining pants everywhere I go. Doesn't that ruin yours too? Yeah, small price to pay though.
But I have the upfitter switches on my dash, and I only use one. I use one to turn on my backup camera so I can see when I'm like hooking up a trailer or whatever. I always figured that I would hook them up to where when you flip the switch up, oh no, I use the number 1 switch too. That's the passenger seat ejector, so it'd have to be the number 2. Oh, that would be quite appropriate to put it on the number 2.
Just reminds me of do you ever watch the movie Mallrats?
Yeah.
The special handshake the guy does to ruin people's day. Do you remember that?
No.
I think it's maybe it's Chasing Amy. The guy has swamp butt, so he's gonna shake the hands with this guy that he absolutely hates. So he gets swamp butt smell on his hand first and shakes the guy's hand. And he's like, the rest of the week the guy's hand's gonna smell like butt. And he's like, doesn't your hand smell like butt then? He's like, yeah, but it's a small price to pay. So then he's going after this guy who's played by Yondu? Is it Yondu, the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh yeah.
The actor that plays Yondu is in this movie. So he does this, but not only does he do that, he gets a bag of chocolate dipped pretzels first, and he's sitting there and he melts them and he's eating the pretzels. So he shakes the guy's hand, so his hand's covered in chocolate, and the guy's eating the pretzels that he's put his hand into now with swamp butt. And then they show him like 2 hours later, and he's like keeps getting the wisp off his hand, and then he's like drinking Pepto and stuff, and looks like absolutely miserable. It's disgusting, but I mean, I'm still a 14-year-old, and when it comes to humor, so
Tony Ryan said Horn Blasters, holy moly, 500 for a kit, 1,000 for the Nightmare special. Yeah,
Small
but
price
you
to
also have
pay
to
for
remember
security.
that was back in 2006 when I was looking at it. So the good kit was only $500 back then. So yeah, that was the one. That was the one thing that I didn't get. Now, my truck also did end up with a $1,400 rebate back from Ford, like 6 months after I got it, because some of them were blowing flame out the tailpipe. I didn't get that option, but they were like, "Oops, sorry that happened. Here's $1,400."
Just
So
in case it does happen.
yeah, I could have bought the kit at that point, but
Yeah.
instead I used that money to buy my roll-up tonneau cover.
I have a pitch, and it's something that Priscilla couldn't possibly say no to.
Okay.
What if we do a progress bar and all the donations going forward on here until you get to the cost of your kit go towards that? People can donate towards
No.
Come on, man. You know.
Then the people will want me to like honk the horn on the streams and stuff.
Well, not on the streams, but certainly in your. You could do a couple of videos where you're driving and you just.
Yeah, I don't know if I really, at this point in my life, if I really need that anymore.
You could call it the poopy make it happener.
The poop make it happener.
Yep.
No, I don't
Come on,
know.
Glenn. You used to be cool.
I know. Well, I used to be a lot younger. No, the truck's running great though.
Or it will be once it's finished, right?
Right. That's what I meant. Like in my dreams, the truck's running great. So
I'm trying to get this laptop. So I think I've kind of just put 2 and 2 together. So the best version of the Intel drivers won't install. DirectX is complaining that it's missing files, and then I realized it's running Windows XP Ultra Mobile PC Edition, which is a stripped down version for low powered hardware. I bet you that there's component because it's not meant to be gamed on. I bet you there's components of that stuff that isn't part of it.
That's very possible, yeah.
That sounds like something Microsoft would do.
Good old Microsoft.
I'm running the Windows file protection scan, which apparently takes 16 years. It's been running for, I'd say, at least 20 minutes.
It will tell you right on there that it could take some time.
It could take some time, yeah.
Yeah.
So does growing up and dying. It's all relative. And sometimes it doesn't take any time at all. Blink of an eye and it's gone. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind.
I almost started singing.
You closed your eyes like only for a moment, then the moment's gone.
No, nobody wants to hear that. Oh, it's funny, when I started writing the little poem for Twitter this morning.
After not doing one last week.
What's that?
You said after not doing one last week. You said you're running out of material.
I got heat for that.
By one person. Come on.
No, I got a couple of emails and a private message about it too.
Oh, how you ruined somebody's day.
They said, bring it back. We like it.
You ruined my day. I just didn't want to say anything because I know life's stressful.
Maybe the progress bar is doing a Benjamin Button on you. I forgot what I was going to say now.
Something about the poem. When you started writing today's poem.
Oh yeah, I was going to start it with when you're down and troubled and you need a helping hand. James Taylor.
I'm very familiar with the works of James Taylor. And you need a helping hand and nothing is going your way.
That's right.
Close your eyes and click on the link.
And then I decided,
enjoy Project Talk 3D.
Yeah, I decided I didn't want to go down that road. Oh, that was something else that I explained to everybody too. I should make you go back and watch the beginning of the stream because you missed so much.
Can I just rewind? And I'm just gonna mute you, and then I'll watch the beginning, and then when I come back, you can update me on what I've missed since I left to go watch the beginning of the stream. I actually want to see how far back can I rewind. Oh yeah, I can go all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah, you should be able to go back to the beginning, but
I'm not going to though. I'm gonna click the live button. I want to live, darn it.
But no, I was telling everybody this is number 47 of Project Talk.
You did the first 50?
I made 50 thumbnails. And so
3 weeks from cancellation.
What's that?
We're 3 weeks away from cancellation.
That's right. Well, no, 3 episodes, not necessarily 3 weeks. We're not always here.
That's true.
Are
Are
we
you
have
not
a
here
very
next week?
small audience today, and I knew that was going to happen because Vector 3D is streaming live and doing a giveaway today. So
Who's
I'm
Vector
wondering
3D?
if, I mean, he's only got 87 watching, but I wonder if that's where some of our audience is today, or maybe they just finally figured out that we don't know what we're doing.
We did
But
have
yeah,
16 at the beginning.
I had good topics for today, or a good topic.
Well, we'll save them for next week.
But I said, like, we're gonna approach the 50, and we need better thumbnails. Like, my whole channel is just full of this thumbnail.
Yep.
Well,
whose fault is that, Glenn?
Oh no, it's absolutely mine.
The only content on this channel right now is you and the
yes,
Canadian.
absolutely. And then I said that at the 50 mark is when we'll officially make the stream called Project Talk. I said it'll no longer be Project Talk with James and Glenn. It'll just be Project Talk with Glenn. And then I said, no, I'm kidding.
Glenn and whoever I can find.
Tony Ryan said, what? Vector 3D is giving stuff away. Why am I watching this? Yeah, because we don't give anything away. Josh said, I'm still here, but working with stamps. So that's good. Thanks for being here.
You guys all chose wisely.
The people who
you don't get anything for free from us, but
the people who cannot hear the sound of my voice have chosen wisely. But no, so I said we definitely want to jazz up the thumbnail. I'd actually like to figure out how to make it look different every week, but it's like these don't really have content, so I don't know. But yeah, and we'll officially change the name to just Project Talk. Somebody else fill me in. What else did I say? I don't know. But, and then, of course, I got to make a bunch of new thumbnails again. But I don't know. At this point, being that this is the only content on this channel, I don't really want to push these over to the recycle channel or replay channel. Though I should just stick them all over there so that they're sitting there. But
I've been debating what I should do with the cherry printer because it hasn't printed anything in probably 2 years at this point, year and a half.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever use it for anything. It was a project. It was neat to do and see if I could get it up and running, but I don't even want to give it to anybody because it doesn't print. Like, it prints okay, but it's not fantastic. You know what I mean? It's slow and there's better options out there.
That's how I feel about the FK1. So market shares on copper are dropping. Like the what's the word I'm looking for? Like when not wood stock, but lumber stock drops. That's what's happening to copper right now.
Commodity values?
Yeah, I forget what they call it. Somebody I'm sure will chime in. But I looked at wire at the hardware stores, at the Hardmore stores over the weekend, and it's still expensive. But I want to say a 50-foot roll will do it, because I just got to get from the main breaker box over to here so I can have a dedicated outlet for this thing. Futures. I knew somebody. Thank you, Chris. I knew somebody would know what that was.
Day of futures past.
Futures. So yeah, it's and of course they're saying, copper futures are dropping. Recession is coming. I thought, well, I hope that means that the price of wire is going down. Yeah, somebody. I want to say it happened here in Florida, but like a group of 4 individuals went into a Lowe's and stole like $7,000 in copper wire. And I thought, so they got out of there with a 50-foot roll. That's not a big achievement.
The things that make the news these days.
What? Nope. So my next step in the garage. Like I got to get this video edited out, which it is a shorter one. I've got it sitting at about 20 minutes right now, and I think it'll be probably 12 to 15 by the time I'm done. But I mean, it's sufficient for what it is. And then I got to throw some music in it. So I'm hoping that I'll have that done tomorrow evening. And then sometime this week, I'm going to go and buy some drywall, sheetrock, gypsum board. Trying to think what everybody calls it. But it's probably one of my least favorite things to do. Like I kind of rank it with like bamboo shoots under the fingernails, then painting, then drywall. And drywall and painting kind of switch back and forth. So I just hate it that much. So, but it needs to be done. It needs to be done. And then I'm going to paint that wall. I'm going to get it all finished out and paint that wall. And I'm thinking about doing like the bottom 3.5 or 4 feet in like a satin black. And then the top of the wall, the same light gray that's in here that you can't really tell because I have yellow light on it. And then a Fun King yellow stripe down the middle of it. So I thought that would be kind of cool. So I guess I have to do drywall and painting. Just go for the bamboo shoots.
Just do the Mr. Bean painting method. There's a video he has to repaint his apartment. And so he covers up everything that's valuable to him. I think it was part of the storyline is it was after like a party, he had a bunch of people over. So he covers up everything with plastic wrap or whatever, and then takes the can of paint, sets it in the middle of the room, and then lights a firecracker and sets it inside, and then runs into the bedroom and closes the door. Well, meanwhile, one of the guests that was at the party comes back because he's forgot his hat on the couch. So he goes in to get the thing, and then you hear the bang. And then he comes back out, and the entire apartment's painted. And he's looking at that grunting approval sound he makes. And then you look over at the wall, and where the hat was, there's the outline of the guy, and you can see the outline of the hat, and he's got his hand up like this, like picking it up. And I was like, that's working smart, not hard.
Oh yeah.
Yes, you got to stop vaping, dude.
I know.
You're gonna end up with that cauliflower lung.
Well,
gotta stop making you laugh.
I'll drink the water and it'll make it even worse.
It just like piles on top of whatever's causing the cough.
Yeah.
It's like now I gotta cough through the water and through the.
But no, I have a like a professional level airless sprayer, but it'll get paint all over everything, and I can't. I can't move that stuff or bag that stuff. So I'm just gonna have to use a roller. Good old roller.
I'd planned to do a video at some point rebuilding my original printer bought Simple Metal because the main board on it is dying. One of the 12-volt rails on the board is burnt out, so I've had to like bypass stuff and put power directly to some of the components. I don't think people would be interested enough in it to watch it. I think I'd do the video and I'd get a couple hundred views and then fade into obscurity.
Yeah, you'd get the nostalgic side of the people who have been around for a while, but for the most part, the people who are into 3D printing now.
I think I get the people on my channel that watch all of my videos. There's like 130 that's like a core audience, and then the rest is sort of variable depending on the popularity of the topic. But
yeah,
and it's never going to go back into. I'd like to have it fixed up and cleaned up and souped up to bring to like Murph and stuff like that, just to show off the history. But it's never going to go back into my main printer stream. You know what I mean?
Right. No, that's not. I mean, that's no different than the one that Joel sent to Xander. I mean, like that will never ever print again.
And I have 2 of them.
Yeah.
I have the one that so it was originally with a heated bed, and it was 150 by 150 by 150. and I got an expansion kit that pushed it to 200 by 200 by 250 on the Z. And then the thing is, I got that expansion kit and redid the wiring and stuff when I had almost no experience, so it's not very well done. And I put cable chains on it, but there wasn't properly fitted ones, and I wasn't good enough at modeling at that point to make something that would fit onto it. So I just kind of used what I could find, and then double-sided taped and cable tied stuff together. And it's so like it needs to be completely torn apart, rewired and stuff, but it would literally be just to show it up and running again. Although granted, even though the wiring and stuff is terrible, and it ran during the entire first part of the pandemic, printing ear protectors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, but
produced hundreds
like if you could do that and put the video together like in your spare time, like if you didn't dedicate a week to doing it or whatever, if you just did it a little bit over time, then so what? Release the video, and if it doesn't do well, who cares?
So I think the snag is I would have to do it in one shot because I don't physically have a lot of room. So like it's sitting in a spot right now where it's isolated. But if I start pulling it apart, the more you rip it apart, the more space it takes up.
Brian said, "Just make the vid."
Okay,
I agree. Just do it.
Well, I have 2 videos that I absolutely have to do beforehand because they're both sponsored videos and important videos.
Yeah.
But because
Alan King said he'd watch it.
Oh, there we go. I do need to get some more space stuff figured out down here as well.
The Viking has joined us. Hello, Thomas. Yeah, you need more space. You need to move to Florida.
I'll just live in your garage.
Yeah, I don't think I'm doing that anymore. So I don't know if I've ever told this story publicly. I don't know if I've ever told this story, but there was a Canadian 3D printing YouTuber that I watched a video of his a long time ago. And he was putting a mains powered heat bed on his printer.
You mean me? Because I did this too.
And I watched the video and I thought, this guy has no clue what he's doing. Why would you use mains power for your heat bed? And yes, that was James. But that was before I knew James. Now I know he doesn't know what he's doing. Oh.
To be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair. I didn't actually realize you were talking about me there.
I was talking about you, actually.
Yeah, I didn't because like I did do that, but I didn't think I ever put a video on it or anything, so I didn't.
I'm pretty sure it was you.
I mean, I definitely told you about it. I would imagine.
Oh no, I watched. Like it was I was like way early in my 3D.
Oh, printing. You know what? I did because I did a video on. I put the relay for the 110 volt inside the power supply that I was using to power the printer, so that it was removed from accidentally being touched or being attached to the frame of the printer where it could short out. Except for the stupid thing I did. I used high wattage speaker terminals on the back so that you could connect and disconnect the bed from the power supply. So you've got 2 active terminals on the back of the power supply that have 110 volts going to them when the printer's running.
I just remember watching that video and thinking, like, how crazy dangerous is it to use mains voltage for your bed heater?
Yep.
And then and then I learned that that's actually a thing. So, like
I would do it again, but I wouldn't do it the way I did it because that was also on a bed slinger. I think if you're going to do 110 volts to the bed, you probably want to make sure that the bed is either completely stationary or only up and down.
Yeah.
You don't want something that's moving back and forth and doing that extra movement on the
yeah, because look, I mean, I didn't even think about that, but I mean, think about how often the wires going to the bed break.
Yep.
No, I don't really remember anything other than thinking, like, I mean, it was just crazy to use mains voltage. Why wouldn't you just use the 12 volts? But yeah, I guess I never told that story, huh?
I've actually, it sounds familiar now that I think about it, but I don't think we got that far into it. I originally wired that with 110 volts, with 12 volts, and the bed would only reach a peak of 65 degrees, and it took like 10 minutes to get there, 20 minutes to get there, and then it would just hover there. So if you put it to 70, it eventually would trigger thermal runaway protection.
But was that using the mains?
No,
Outlet?
it was a 330 by 330 rep wrap 12 volt bed, and it just wouldn't get any hotter than that. So I attached the silicone pad to the bottom of that print bed because it was cheaper than going and buying another piece of aluminum.
It works fantastically now that I know. You know, like
Yeah.
Brian said, so AC beds are bad. No. Yeah, no, let's clear that up right now. AC beds, if they're done right, are fantastic.
And I've definitely seen AC beds done worse than I did mine. I just wouldn't do it again that way.
But again, like I don't remember the video from the aspect of like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's doing wiring this up. It was purely watching the video thinking, why would you use a mains voltage heater on, like I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just getting into 3D printing. I had no idea. So
I could probably cook eggs on that thing.
Tony Ryan said use 110 volts because you want fast heating and be able to make griddle cakes each morning. So I'll tell you what, this thing right here will keep a room warm. No, I just thought that was funny because, it was you and, here we are how many years later.
Looks like we made it. Look how far we come, my Glenn. I ain't calling you baby. Never again.
Too funny. And then, for those of you guys who don't know, James and I started our channels about the same time.
Like within a month of each other, I think. I started within a month of Chris Riley. I know that.
And then
and Chris Riley's been moderately more successful.
just a little. But I got my big boost from Joel. 3D printing nut, 3D, I don't know, something like that. Some Joel guy. I mean, honestly, if you don't know, Joel did a giveaway at one point, and to get entries into the giveaway, you had to go subscribe to these 5 smaller channels, and I was one of them. And I woke up on a Saturday morning. In fact, it was a Saturday that I was supposed to be putting up Christmas lights. And James had sent me a message, and he's like, have you seen your subscription count? And I'm like, no. I had 347 the night before, and by the time I looked at it, it was over 3,000.
And you got up to what, 5,500 by the end of it?
5,500, yeah. I spent the whole Saturday just watching my subscription count go up. It was pretty amazing. So then Xander and I decided we were going to do the same thing. We did a 5,000 subscriber giveaway, which we'll circle back around to that in a minute. Because if if you look now, I don't have 5,000 now. So we did.
Did you hide that video now?
What's that?
Did you hide that video now, or are you leaving it up ironically?
Oh, it's still up. I should take it down and then play it again when I break over 5,000. But no, so for 5,000, subscribers, like I reached out to a bunch of companies, a bunch of people sponsored it. We had a huge giveaway. It was so much fun. Not as much fun as the birthday giveaways used to be. Those streams were always fun. But so yeah, we gave a bunch of stuff away. And what I did was I picked, did I do 5 or 3? I might only done 3 channels.
I think you did 3.
But James was one of them. And then,
sorry, go ahead.
Thomas, Arduino Makes, was one of them. And I can't remember who else it was. I'd have to go back and look it up. But I told James, I said, like, if I'm going to burn, you're going to burn too. So, come along with me. And then Thomas was actually, if you guys don't know Thomas, Arduino Makes, he's Xander's age. So
has he put out anything lately?
I don't think so. His brother's probably too loud. Thomas was like 10 or 11 at the time when we did this, and he was out of town that day. I didn't tell him it was coming.
Yeah.
And so like I didn't hear from him, and that was also like Monday, and he had no idea where the subscribers were coming from. So then I said to, I finally got hold of him and told him what was going on. And I said, now listen to me. I said, you're going to lose some of those subscribers once the giveaway is done. There's people who will subscribe to get entry, and then when they don't win, they're mad and they unsubscribe from who they subscribe to. And he said, I don't care. I have so many now. So it was an amazing chain reaction. Now the downside to that is you kind of lose, like, being the way your subscribers are built, those people don't have a tendency to watch your stuff. But I did gain a great deal of subscribers and followers who did watch my stuff. So that worked out. But you also miss certain milestones. I mean, we literally went from 347 to 5,500 in the course of about 3 days. So it was just like, and then I stopped making content and wasted it all.
So I found your thank you video. 5K giveaways now with more prizes. Let me see if I can get the list of the number or the people you picked.
See if it says who. Yeah, it was done through what was that site that we all used to Gleam.
Now where did it go?
Where did it come from? Where did it go? Where did it come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
You know, if it hadn't been for Cotton Eye Joe, I'd been married a long time ago. There's baby Xander holding the sword up.
That's so funny, isn't it?
And there's Zach's reaction to that video where he slapped the monitor. Okay, so you've got 1K, no 2K, no 2,600 subscribers, and thank you. Oh, here's the giveaway announcement. Is it in here? Gleam.io. Here we go.
Did you see Thomas and Josh both? To be fair, in the chat.
Be fair. I did not see it, but so I think I'd have to watch the video to find out, because you just have a link to the Gleam thing, and when you go to the Gleam site, it doesn't show you what people had to do.
Yeah. Well, all that stuff's long gone. YouTube started getting crabby, saying that you couldn't ask people to subscribe for entry. Oh, so I've noticed, and I don't know if it's really, I've only seen it in the automotive YouTube community, but people are doing giveaways. I don't know if I want to call them out, but they're doing giveaways, and you get entries into the giveaway for every $5 that you spend or whatever in their merch shop. And I don't know how they're doing that legally. I mean, that's like
that's lottery.
Pretty much, it's gambling. Yeah. And like here in the US, if you do a sweepstakes, it's supposed to be, like no cost for entry. So I don't know how and a lot of people are doing it, and it was a fairly large automotive YouTuber.
So I don't know if it's like that there, and I don't even know if it's still like that here, but I know in Canada the loophole is that you can have, it's like you have to have allow an entry that doesn't cost anything, but then you can have additional entries that you can then have attached to.
Yeah, see, I haven't dug into it to see if that's what they're doing, because I know, like with like cereal, cereal used to always do giveaways, and you could send a 3x5 index card with your name for a free entry, so that you didn't have to buy the cereal.
Right.
But yeah, I noticed that happening a lot, like buy our stuff and you get this entry to win. And I don't know. I mean, like some of them, the prizes they're giving away are very, very high value prizes. But I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. I'm not looking to do that. I just want you guys to buy my merch that I haven't even bothered to put online yet. Yeah. Someday you'll be able to sport around in a Fun King 3D or a Fun King garage shirt. I made myself a hat because I was tired of not having a Fun King hat. All I did was I just put the Fun King on there, And so it works for either channel that I'm repping. It's pretty great.
Makes sense to me.
Yep. I got some more stickers coming in. Every time, and I'm not going to promote them because I can't say I'm real crazy about their work, but every time a specific sticker company runs a promo, I buy just however many's in the promo because it's a good deal. So I have a variety of different garage stickers. So Glenn's got swag.com. Oh, is that taken?
So in the, you had this is before the giveaway, but you had a bunch of small channels that you listed in your thanks for 2,600 subscriber video description. So you've got Print and Play, Ron the Happy Extruder, Arduino Makes, Technology Nerd 18.
Oh God, I can't believe I promoted him.
How I Do It, You Do It, 3DP Iceland, 3D Kid, Practical Printing, Anthony Tackett, Mitch 3D, and Richard, aka Zidham.
I wouldn't have promoted all of those as...
They're linked in the thing, but I think this was before you decided you were doing the giveaway. I think this was just a, hey, we just hit 5,000 or 2,600 subscribers. You weren't even at 5,000 when this video came out.
Oh, okay.
I took a look at Technology Nerd 18. He changed the name of his channel to Adaptive Tech. And his last video was
swag.com is available.
So you just bought it?
No. It would be pretty funny, but I don't need any more domain names.
That kid's name is Ryan, right?
Yeah. So let's talk about him.
So just running back through his channel quick. So he's got a channel update 2 years ago.
Yeah, he changed the name of his channel now.
Oh yeah, it's Adaptive Tech now.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, he's got a channel update. Then he has MacBook Pro 16-inch review, the best ever. Then channel update. Then Crowley CR7. So basically, channel update video. Channel update 3 videos. Channel update.
So he used to do AMAs like every day. He would do these Ask Me Anythings, and it was always him laying in bed with the camera right here, like looking up his nose.
And yeah, and like sometimes they'd only last like 5 minutes, and nobody would come in.
Right.
And he just and so, like I know that a lot of them he'd start off and like there'd be one person that'd ask a question. He'd be like, "Okay, I'm gonna hold on off on answering that until we got some more people in here." And I was gonna be like, "Okay, bye."
But Xander and I laugh. One of the greatest videos that he ever did was this video about organizing your desk, and it was pretty much him like for 45 minutes hot gluing crap to his desk. Like he hot glued down his speakers, and he just glued everything to his desk. Oh, it was a good one. And then there was remember he was building the ANET A8.
Oh, that was after he posted a bunch of videos saying that nobody should buy it, and then he posted it and he's like, I don't want you guys to hate me, but I bought it. I bought one.
Well, and he was live streaming the build, and a bunch of us were in there, and I'm like, dude, show me your mains wiring. And he's like, no, I got it. And I'm like, show me your mains wiring. Oh, no, it's fine. I got it. And he plugs it in and blows the breaker. The breaker that the printer was plugged into was also the circuit that his router was on. So he lost internet. So like as soon as he plugged it in, the stream went dead. We didn't know if he went dead. Oh, good times.
I'm looking.
Ron has joined us. He said, just got home from a 7+ mile walk to raise awareness for veteran suicide. Just wanted to thank all of our service personnel for all that they do for our country. God bless our military. Technically, God bless everybody's military, even when they're on the other side. That's a big thing, you know. And, you know, police officers and former police officers and paramedics and, you know, so definitely. I can't believe Uncle Ron walked for 7 miles. You know, that's all I got to say.
I do see there's this period here where there's like 10 Ask Me Anything videos in a row.
Yeah, like just.
And then the ANET A8 has arrived. Then test streaming. Ask me anything live stream. ANET A8 live build. ANET A8 live build. ANET A8 live build. I'm so sorry about the ANET A8 live build. ANET A8 live build. So the moment where he blows the breaker is probably in one of these videos, right?
Yeah, it's one of the A8 live stream builds.
I'm just taking a look.
It's probably the one right before the sorry, because so his mom's boyfriend was there when he tripped the breaker, and then the boyfriend got mad and wouldn't let him restart the live stream. So then, like, we all have no idea if he's dead. Like.
Okay, so the one just before that, he's still putting the frame together. And I got to remember to open it in a new window because I clicked back and then it was 4 years ago.
Right.
Okay, so where's the I'm sorry? Okay, so then there's this one.
And then if you want a good cringe-worthy one, he's got one that's entitled something like 16-year-old gets a new car or something like that.
That was his last video was yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one. His reaction to the car. They don't ever show the car and he's just standing there like
It's funny. His live stream doesn't show the chat. Well, I guess this is before they started doing the logging.
Yeah, you had to do it through
another app.
You had to do it through.
Okay, so it's not in this one.
Good night to Sanders, and a great big warm welcome to a person that I've not ever seen in our chat before, a lady named Judy Shelton. That's my mom, so y'all be nice. Don't make me start banning y'all.
Clicked end banned.
It looks like my mom finally figured out how to log into her YouTube account. Mom, you can actually like this video by clicking the thumbs up.
I think I found the video just based on the status of the build where I am right now. He's 3 minutes away from that. And it's like, because I don't want to put the audio on, but it looks like lip sync. He's like, okay, that should be it. Let's go ahead and skip ahead.
Oh, it'll be right at the end because as soon as he plugged, he plugged it in and poof.
Yeah, so I because it's a 4-hour stream. I'm at 4 hours, 1 minute and 32 seconds. I guess I can skip ahead with the keyboard. Oh, here we go. I think.
Oh yeah, it was a good time. It's funny, and I would have to look back, but what did I?
Yeah, he's got the power cord in his hand right now.
And I'm probably yelling, "Don't plug it in."
He keeps looking at chat. Here it goes. He plugs it in. He plugged it in. It didn't die immediately. Is there a power? Oh, he hasn't plugged the other end in yet. Because he looked like he was looking at the board like, okay, what's going on? Yeah, there we go. This is why we're a community. We help each other not die.
My mom says she doesn't have a thumbs up. You should have a thumbs up. Looking at, I don't know what device you're on, but you should have a thumbs up right below.
Also, hi, Glenn's mom. Nice to meet you.
There's a thumbs down too, if that's really what you want to do. But we have a Icelander joining us as well. Martin's here.
Hey, Martin. Right?
What a day.
It's just an ordinary day.
This stream has gone very fast.
Yeah, it felt like it was 20 minutes shorter than normal to me.
Well, chat's been up and down, up and down. We're 20 watchers right now, which is weird, but
anyways, I don't know what's up with Ryan anymore. But Ryan is the one that he put out a video and he was like angry about something, and he's like, I think it was like he didn't want people supporting Chinese 3D printing companies anymore. I think that's what it was. And he's like, if you want to support them or you want to support, then unsubscribe from my channel. And then Joel was like, well, I'll respect your decision.
It was what was the big Chinese company? Not Wish.
Gearbest, Banggood?
Gearbest. I kept wanting to call him Netgear, but
Yeah.
that wasn't Gearbest. It was a slam on Gearbest, and he pretty much called all of us big YouTubers. Like he called
Sellouts.
me out, he called Joel out, he called a bunch of us out by name, talking how we were shilling stuff for them, and the community just like
But
shunned him at
specifically,
that point.
Joel went in and replied and said, "I will respect your wishes. I've unsubscribed from you."
Yeah, yeah. And then he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't really mean that." And no, that was pretty much the end of any support for him. I mean,
Yep.
he was like a 13-year-old kid, and we were just trying to build him up so that so he would be successful. But he just kept, I don't know, nuking himself. So yeah. But that's some good cringeworthy watching. But kind of like that Xander kid. God, go back and watch his old stuff. That's some good good cringeworthy stuff.
Looks like he took down the Gearbest video.
Oh, he did. He took it down not long after he did it because of the backlash that he got for it.
Well, then he also got like flooded with thumbs downs, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Back when you could see thumbs down.
I know lots of people too tried to give him advice on his filming because every single one of his videos starts off with him activating the recording on his iPad and then turning it around to face him, and then
hey everybody, Redstone here.
Yeah, that was when he had the dragon as his.
Well, the funny thing is he used to do he might have had a different channel for it, but he did Minecraft videos, and he went
There's some Minecraft videos at the beginning of his thing.
Yeah, he went by the name Redstone, and then like he just kept that up, even though his channel didn't have anything to do with with Minecraft anymore. And then his mom, I forget. I want to say she was some type of a doctor. And they were pretty well off, and so he pretty much got everything that he wanted. Like, always had the latest and greatest. He did a house tour at one point and went into his printing room, which was also the home fitness room, and he had like 10 printers just sitting there. Like, I don't know,
On the
it
floor,
was just
right?
ridiculous, huh?
On the floor, right?
Yeah.
He put out 2 Minecraft videos, and then the third video is called "Hi, this is my first YouTube video ever." I feel bad. We shouldn't be dunking on this guy.
Oh, yes, we should. Watch his videos and tell me we shouldn't be dunking on him.
He was also very, very young. I mean, he was ambitious to start doing YouTube videos.
He was
at
like
10
12
years
or
old.
13 when he started, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I got behind him. In fact, he had reached out to Joel, and Joel had, like thrown him props on Twitter or whatever. Hey, go check this kid out.
Yeah.
And so then I got behind him. I mean, I technically made friends with him. Like,
well, because you ended up sending him stuff. One of his videos is I received a box from Fun King 3D.
Yeah, I sent him some stuff. He sent me some stuff. Like, I mean, like we were on talking terms, and as you know, that not many people get that that luxury. Just because of social anxiety. I'm not stuck up. I just don't like talking on the phone. Ask my mom. But it was that Netgear thing that just like he burned so many bridges. And then Angus had some one-off music done for his channel, and then Ryan used it, got his hand slapped for it, and then just constantly kept bugging Angus like, can I use it? Can I use it? Can I use it? And Angus just finally stopped responding to him, like.
There's also stuff too. He would often pop into Joel's live streams and give like a $15 to $20 donation, and in the donation was like, please give me a shout out for my channel.
Yeah.
And Joel would have to be like, I don't really do that. That's not fair to other creators. You've kind of just given yourself a shout out because your name has now popped up, but I don't endorse like that. So
I will for $20. I'm just saying. No.
For $20, you get a banner that runs until somebody else donates $20.
$21.
That's true.
MJ said, just like the guy who said Prussia stole his stuff. Yeah, we talk about tinfoil head tinfoil hat guy all the time too.
He's a complicated thing though, because he does come up with lots of innovative and cool ideas and a lot of his implementations. Although I think majority of his channel for a little bit was centered around 3D printing guns, which isn't really something I get behind because I don't like 3D. I don't think 3D printed guns are ever completely safe. You know,
not fully printed. No.
Yeah. But yes, he was very conspiratorial. But the other side of it is he does a lot of smart, cool stuff. He comes up with some cool designs, and I'm still subscribed to him because when those videos come out, I do like to watch, and I give him props, and he gets a thumbs up from me if it's a. It's just
Yeah,
I think the one that finally got me was he did one with where he was talking about I forget what the other YouTuber is, but how he's been stealing from him and watching his videos because he had a thumbnail where he was holding up like two devices like this, and he's like, this is a direct ripoff of one of my thumbnails. And like it took me 10 seconds to find somebody else with the exact same thumbnail that had put it up years before he had, right? As it's just
and 1,000 people on Fiverr selling the same thumbnail.
Exactly, yeah. But it was because they were both low cost CNC machines. He said, I did one on a low cost CNC machine, and here we are a year later. He's doing a review on a low cost CNC machine, and he picks the exact same thumbnail that I did, very similar pose. And I'm like, but the thumbnail you did wasn't unique to begin with.
Right.
So even if he stole the idea, the chances are he didn't steal it from you.
Yeah. No matter what you've done, somebody else has already done it.
It's true. One of the things I'm working on right now, that controller,
right?
The gimmick for it, I happened to be looking up and I found somebody did it last year. That it does the same thing where it can cycle between keyboard mode, gamepad mode, mouse mode, and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And designed a circuit board, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna look like I'm ripping this guy off.
Well,
but then it turns out. Sorry, go ahead.
Look how many times that you and I have done projects that the other one has already started doing that same project.
Yep. And then one of us is the further ahead, and then we can discuss it or whatever and fix things. And but so the funny part was, so last, I think April, he released this person released the video where he built this game device that did the same thing. But last March, I released a video where I turned the Pico into an interface for the NES controller, like the original Nintendo controller, to connect it to your computer. And my original code that also had the mode to be able to switch between keyboard, mouse, and gamepad on it. So I'm like, oh, he ripped me off then. But like, it's funny, right? Because I worked on that project and then I put it away. And I've been getting messages about it lately because in the latest version of CircuitPython, they removed the gamepad functionality because it wasn't well implemented in other operating systems. So it would work okay in Windows and like some versions of Linux, but other operating systems had problems with it. So they removed it because it wasn't truly a universal device.
Huh.
So I've been getting messages from people saying this doesn't work, and it's like, well, it doesn't work anymore. If you look, I implemented it under 6, they're up to 7, and if you look at the documentation of 7, they said we've removed gamepad HID because it's not fully compatible in all operating systems. So
you do it. John slides in and says, "Martin." Yeah, more excited to see Martin here than us.
That's
so am I.
No cheese, John.
No cheese. God, who doesn't like cheese?
I have noticed that. I think he got so mad that he wrote a diss track about it.
John?
John, would you call that a diss track? Is that where we go with it? I don't know if it's just laying out preference or. It's catchy though. It gets stuck in your ear. That's
earworm?
It's an earworm.
Get cheese stuck in your ear?
No, you get no cheese stuck in your ear.
Get no cheese stuck in your ear.
Yeah.
So it is 6:31, and I'm having a good time, and I'd love to hang out, but I also need to cook dinner tonight.
I'd actually sent you a message on Twitter that you can just ignore now. It is 6:33. Do you know where your children are? Somebody put out a TikTok video and they're talking, that it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? that like reminder video.
Right.
Like, people in Canada and America so bad at being parents that they have to be reminded to make sure they know where their kids are at bedtime. I never fully got what that was because like I was a kid when that was the thing on the. And it's like it was literally like, hey, you've been watching TV probably all night. Have you made sure that your kids actually came home from their friend's place, or have you just completely lost track of life? So.
Now it's all about video games. Uncle Ron wants to know what I'm cooking. I'm grilling some steaks, actually. So John said, "Oh, I see how it is. I get here, you shut down." Listen, John, these streams start at 4:30 in the afternoon. Can't help it, you're late.
You know what's
And you're
even
in the
weirder
same
though.
time zone, so like you can't even use that as an excuse.
What's even weirder is that you showing up and then us shutting down the stream is actually on the timeline for today. Figure that one out.
Yeah, it's actually in the description.
Yeah.
Stream will run until John shows up.
Yep. And then in brackets, that's how you do it.
That's how I do it. So good talk today. Good conversations. I do appreciate the feedback that I got from you guys on some of my dilemmas.
That I have to go back and watch the beginning of the live stream to make sure I got them all.
Yeah, you got to go back and make sure that you didn't get fired. But yeah, I do got to duck out because I'm hungry and the family's probably hungry. And
if you look at your message on Twitter, you'll probably know that I also need to duck out.
Yeah, I see that now. Yeah. It's weird though; it didn't show up on my watch. Probably because it was open over here. I just had something over the top of it. So
stop doing that.
I know. I've gotten better about like not leaving it open when I leave here though. Like I make sure that it's closed out. Otherwise, I don't get them upstairs.
We'll arrange to get you that medal for it.
What's that?
We'll arrange to get you a medal for that.
Oh, good. Yeah. participation ribbon.
You too, John.
And
everybody.
Thank you, John. Thanks for popping in. I mean, we are here weekly, and you can pop in, weekly. Very weekly.
The trick is to pop in close to the end, so it's as minimal a time commitment as possible.
Right. That way he can say that he showed up, but he doesn't actually have to hang out with us. I know how it is. So, but so we are getting closer and closer to Earth. As we get closer to Earth, there'll be more and more updates. I am aiming to go. Again, it'll probably just be me. Don't know. We'll see. I might bring the big gangly one with because where he's homeschooled, it's a little bit more lenient than Zach. But we'll see how that does. We'll keep you up to par on that. James, do you have anything that you want to plug?
I did release a new video on my main channel on Friday, where I turned a Raspberry Pi Pico into a web server. So that's kind of neat for a first look at the new Pico W that has wireless built into it. And there should be a RetroTech video out.
The W? I thought it was waterproof.
Well, that explains why yours doesn't work. And I should have a retro video out this week. It's 90% shot, 95% shot. I just keep adding to it. I keep increasing the scope. So, but yeah.
Well, and I mean, God willing, I will also have a video out on Friday. It is a Fun in Space video. I don't know if I'm really going to have anything else filtering in super soon. Like the next couple videos may be Fummin's videos, but this video is it's bolting a couple things to the engine and bringing the body back down just to make sure that everything clears. So it's a pretty monumental step. Not as big as the last video, but still pretty monumental. I appreciate everybody that is watching and commenting. That is greatly appreciated because the channel's growing, and that's what I need and want. So, but I should have that video out this week, even if it means that I can't do anything else until it's done. Editing takes so long. Why does editing take so long?
My speed is increasing slowly, but like I'm also having to learn stuff. I think I'm going to have to switch to
Premiere.
Yep. I've been doing my editing in Filmora, and one of the things that I've run into, this video is one that highlighted it, is that I need to be able to mask and then brighten or darken areas of the video and then leave other parts alone. Filmora does have a masking tool, which I just found out. So the first thing I did was I took a screenshot of the computer stationary from like one of those scenes and then edited out the screen and then brightened the image and then pasted it back over top of it, but then you end up with a little border that's quite visible around the screen where the transparency and stuff isn't perfect. So then I started playing with the masking effects that are built into Filmora, but they don't have the ability to be like draw a line around stuff. So like I can take a rectangle and I can rotate it and resize it, but because the geometry isn't perfect, because the laptop might be at an angle or whatever, you end up brightening around it. For this one, it's not a big deal. The bezel's black, so it can take the brightening and darkening and it doesn't stand out a ton. But for future videos, it's going to be an issue. So so I might move on to Premiere. It's just mostly the cost that's scaring me off, but or not scaring me off, but it's an additional cost to the channel to
John said if you need a jump start, reach out to him as far as Premiere goes. So and I'll tell you what, that contour shuttle, and I don't know if it's because like I didn't have a bunch of editing experience, like I hadn't been doing it for years, but I've adapted to that thing so quickly now, and using that jog wheel, and just I can edit, like clipping out a bunch of stuff so fast. It's pretty awesome. That was $100 investment, but it was worth it. So, but other than that, I got nothing. You got anything?
That's it. Video from last week, and keep an eye on the retro channel for the new video this week.
So then this is the part where I say thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in. And I really mean it today. The conversation was fantastic today. The chat stayed very consistent, and I appreciate that. I love when everybody is engaged. That's really what I love what I look forward to in these streams. So thank you all for being here. We love each and every one of you, and we do appreciate you being here, because these streams would be senseless to do without you. We'll do it again next week. And until next time, as always,
print on.